Hello, everyone. This is Pastor Alan Hathaway from the Garrison Church of God. I'm glad you joined me today. I'll be sharing my final sermon in my series called Day by Day from Romans chapter 14. I've been enjoying this particular series as it's been talking about special days. And today I want to talk about two kinds of special days. They'll be related in the title of my message, which is called The Hero in the Common Man. And that will be taken from Acts chapter 4. If you are able to, we'd love to have you come and join us for service this morning. Our services begin in Riverdale at the community church at 8:30 this morning, and they begin at 10:30 in Garrison at the Garrison Church of God. So we would love to have you come and be a part of either of these services. There are days and moments when ordinary people rise to extraordinary events, and they become heroes. One of the groups of people that are heroes in our country, at least in my opinion, are police officers and first responders, particularly in the area of firefighters and ambulance crews and people who care for those types of areas in our society. And they deserve our respect. They are ordinary people that go home from their work and have their families and are part of their communities and do wonderful things. But they also put themselves in harm's way so the rest of us can be safe and healthy. And so we have a lot of respect for those people who function in that part of our society. They are, in a real sense, heroes. This particular Sunday happens to be National Hug a Plumber Day. And I thought that was kind of an interesting holiday. I took time to look it up, and really they don't know where the origins of that particular day come from. It was celebrated in England before it was celebrated in the United States and moved here from there. But beyond that, we don't know a great deal about it. I thought about the common men in our culture, and we don't think of plumbers as being important or superheroes in any real sense of the word, but they really are. Without the advent of modern plumbing in our culture, we would be ravaged by diseases. In fact, most ancient cities were ravaged by cholera epidemics and other types of epidemics that were spread primarily through contamination of water supplies. And so plumbing has become a very important part of that. The Romans took the first step forward by bringing fresh water from a long, long ways away to their cities in order to have fresh drinking water that was not contaminated. But it still had problems with the contaminations because the plumbing techniques they used were still not well perfected. And as a result of that, still there were cholera outbreaks and all kinds of problems in Roman cities. It would not be until the late 1500s that there would be the development of a flush toilet. And it would be until the late 1800s before those things became viable in most homes. So those are important transformations that have been wrought in our society due to the work of plumbers. So they really are superheroes, and we need to be thankful for them. And so Hug a Plumber Day today, National Hug a Plumber Day. So this Sunday, take time to say thank you to a plumber, and if you're brave enough, give him a hug or her a hug, and hopefully they will not use their pipe wrench on you or something like that. But it is wonderful to realize that it is through their efforts and through their work that we have a safer society. And those things are important for all of us. We don't think of ordinary people as being heroic, but I think about the men and women who helped transform my life spiritually. A lot of the time we hear about all these powerful preachers or powerful people that have influenced lives or seemingly influenced lives because of their positions and powerful titles. My dad was a pastor, and I have a lot of respect for pastors, but it wasn't my dad's title as a pastor or his role as a pastor that made an impact on my life. It was his life as a man and his hard work. My dad often worked with his hands, and I came to appreciate him because of that, because of the hard work and effort that he put into life. And the people that have had the most impact on me spiritually have been the men and women who have served as Sunday school teachers and youth leaders in my local church when I was growing up. They are the people who made a tremendous impact, and I still look back at those people when the ones that are still alive and think of them as heroes because, they sometimes did a job of teaching kids who were not very kind or very good or very honest or very truthful, and I was among those. And they instilled in them a sense of Christian faith, a Christian understanding. One of my teachers, Sunday school teachers, was a gentleman by the name of Jim, who I can remember where our Sunday school class met up in an attic area in the parsonage, believe it or not. But he worked really hard to make Sunday school creative and enjoyable. That was not his job. He worked in factories and worked hard at those kinds of jobs. But he brought to our Sunday school class a real enjoyment of the message of Christ and the purpose of Christ. And I remember that, and it made a tremendous impact in my life. I also remember those who served as youth leaders while I was a teenager and how their faithfulness and their service, and again, they were not unique or unusual people in the sense that they worked everyday jobs, and they made a difference in their community while they made a difference in my life. And I think that is important for us to realize. Superhumans are not noted because of their tremendous titles or their backgrounds or their skills. It is because of their commitment to Christ and their commitment to the people they serve. And that is what makes them superhuman. When I come to the close of my days, I hope that people will recognize me not because I was a great pastor, but because I was a good man who cared about people and cared about their lives and worked with my hands and was willing to serve. Those are things that are more important in life than whether you have a big title or whether you are well known. And those are the things that God thinks is important. What strikes me in the book of Acts in chapter 4 is that you have two men who were fishermen. Nobody expected anything great from them. They had grown up in fishing. They had worked hard at it. They knew how to mend a net, make a net. They knew how to tar a net so that it was prepared for the next day's fishing. They knew how to cast nets. They knew how to gather them. They knew those kinds of things. Nobody would have thought of them as being earth-shaking people. But one day they entered the temple. And as they entered the temple, they found a man who was born lame. They had passed by him probably many times as they had entered the temple in Jerusalem. But this day was different. They stopped and they fixed their eyes on him. And he looked at them expecting to receive something from them. He expected that they would give him something for his efforts of begging. But Peter looked at him and said, "We don't have any silver, we don't have any gold, but what we do have we will give to you." And they took him by the hand and raised him up, and Peter said, "In the name of Jesus Christ, arise and walk." And suddenly this man who had been lame for 40 years stood up and walked and could actually leap and dance, it says. And that's pretty exciting. And he entered the temple with Peter and John, and they were celebrating, and suddenly it gathered a crowd. And Jesus began sharing with them the message of Christ. He says, "Don't look at us because we didn't do this. Jesus did this. And let me tell you about Jesus, the one whom you allowed to be crucified, the one that you called for his death. This is the man who did this for this man. This is the one who changed everything." Later on, the Sanhedrin would call them up before them, and they would be shocked by Peter and John's abilities at speaking and their talent. And it says there that they noted that they had been with Jesus. That's a powerful statement. What really makes us superheroes is not everything else that goes on around us or where we came from or what we have accomplished. It is that we know and have been with Jesus. The superhero in the common man. On Wednesday, it is National Superhero Day, and that was started in 1995 by people at Marvel Comics, but I want to celebrate the superheroes all around me, those people that teach Sunday school class and then go and work at a 9-to-5 job and work hard, and yet their love for Christ and the fact that they have been with him makes them really a superhero. And if you're in that class of people, you are, in my opinion, a superhero. Thank you for what you do for Christ. You are a blessing. God bless you. Take care of yourself. Hope to see you in church.